Somewhere, right now, someone is having their first kiss. Hands a little shaky, heart going too fast, not quite sure where to put their nose. It feels like the most personal moment in the world. Something brand new, just for them. But here's the strange part. That exact moment, lips meeting lips, might be one of the oldest gestures our species has ever made. Not thousands of years old, not even tens of thousands. Millions. Long before humans could speak, write, or even walk fully upright the way we do now, something like a kiss may have already existed. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand where it actually came from, and why scientists say it's one of the strangest puzzles in evolution. Here's what makes kissing genuinely bizarre from a scientific standpoint. It shouldn't really exist. Think about what evolution usually rewards. Behaviors that help you survive. Behaviors that help you reproduce more successfully. Kissing does neither of those things directly. It puts two people's mouths together, swaps saliva, and actually increases the risk of spreading illness. From a pure survival logic, it's a strange thing for any species to keep doing. And yet, it didn't just survive. It spread. Not only through humans, but through many of our closest animal relatives too. So, if kissing offers no clear survival benefit, why did it stick around for millions of years? In late 2025, researchers at the University of Oxford tried to answer that question properly for the first time. Instead of just looking at human history, they mapped kissing-like behavior across the entire primate family tree. Chimpanzees, gorillas, bonobos, and more. What they found was startling. This behavior likely traces back to a shared ancestor of humans and large apes that lived somewhere between 17 and 21 million years ago, long before humans existed in any recognizable form. Even more surprising, the evidence suggests our closest ancient relatives, the Neanderthals, very likely kissed too. Scientists found that humans and Neanderthals shared identical strains of mouth bacteria, the kind that typically only passes between individuals through direct saliva contact. In other words, somewhere in our shared past, humans and Neanderthals weren't just crossing paths. They were kissing. So the behavior itself may be older than language, older than agriculture, arguably older than what most of us would even define as human. Now here's where it gets interesting, because there's a difference between kissing as a biological behavior and kissing as something people actually wrote down. For a long time, the earliest written reference to romantic kissing was believed to come from an ancient Indian text roughly 3,500 years old. But more recent research has pushed that timeline back even further. Archaeologists studying clay tablets from ancient Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, found written records describing kissing dating back over 4,500 years. And these weren't vague, ambiguous mentions. The tablets actually described two distinct types of kissing. One as a gesture of respect, almost ceremonial, and another far more intimate, romantic kind of kiss, described in unmistakably affectionate terms, which means people weren't just doing this quietly in private. They were writing about it, categorizing it, treating it as something worth recording for future generations to read. Here's the part that surprises most people. Kissing is not universal. You'd assume every culture on Earth kisses romantically. It feels so natural, so built in, that it seems impossible any group of humans would skip it. But anthropologists have found that romantic mouth-to-mouth kissing is documented in less than half of studied human cultures worldwide. In some societies, physical affection is expressed through touching noses, pressing foreheads together, or breathing in a partner's scent. Never lips. So if kissing isn't universal among humans today, but the biological roots of it go back over 20 million years, what does that actually tell us? It suggests something fascinating. The capacity for this kind of intimate mouth-to-mouth affection may be ancient and shared among many species. But whether any specific culture actually turns that capacity into a romantic ritual, that part is learned, not automatic. Nature built the hardware millions of years ago. Culture decided, one society at a time, whether to actually use it that way. So where does the actual instinct come from? Scientists have a few leading theories. One traces back to infancy. the physical closeness of feeding, where a baby's mouth against a parent creates one of the very first bonds of trust and comfort a human ever experiences. Some researchers believe kissing echoes that same primal wiring. Another theory is even stranger. When two people's lips and faces get close enough, they may be unconsciously picking up on subtle scent and chemical signals from each other. Signals tied to compatibility, health, even genetics. In this theory, a kiss isn't just affection. It's the body quietly gathering information, faster than words ever could. Either way, the pattern is the same. This small, universal feeling gesture is doing something underneath the surface that most of us have never consciously thought about. So the next time you see two people share a kiss, in a movie, at a wedding, anywhere, it's worth remembering what's actually happening in that moment. It's not just a modern romantic gesture. It's something with roots that reach back through Bronze Age Mesopotamia, through Neanderthals, who lived and died tens of thousands of years before written history began, all the way back to an ancient ape ancestor that existed over 20 million years before humans ever walked the earth. A gesture that old, still doing exactly the same job it always did. If this changed the way you think about something as simple as a kiss, let me know in the comments. And if you want to go deeper into the strange, ancient origins of everyday human behaviors like this one, I've got another video on exactly that right here.